Hey everyone, this is Rohit Rana on LeisureMartini, and today we're going to watch an interview with the cast of RRR on Film Companion. So let's watch and react to it.
Lovely to see the three of you, and star power in this room is just dazzling. But I think the two of you will agree with me when I say that the biggest star in this room is this man's imagination.
Absolutely.
Hannah?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I would love someday to peek into that brain and see how he does the things he does. And how he comes up with the
that's exactly what I keep thinking. How does he imagine so much?
Your superpower is really the ability to combine spectacle with emotion. Your movies are like these modern day mythologicals, but you never let us lose sight of the human relationships. How do you keep that balance?
I don't think of it. I don't try to balance it, but the way I operate is on the basis of emotion. So whether I give a spectacle, I don't give a spectacle, it might change, but the emotional part of it will not change. I cannot function otherwise. And even for a song like Nacho Nacho, which is supposed to be a mass dancing number, I just cannot put one's dance number like that.
Exactly.
I got to have emotion.
That was not just a random
I
item
need to have
number.
an emotional
It was
beat,
emotional backdrop to it.
emotional underlying, even for a song like Nacho Nacho. That is how I operate.
So your basic principle is emotion, everything else comes out.
Yes, yes.
I interviewed Mr. Vijayendra Prasad a couple of months ago, and he said to me, in this film there's going to be action and tears. And I was like, how? How does that work? What is your explanation? How do you combine action and tears?
No, I think if you close your eyes and think of an action that made an impact on you from your childhood, you take any that impactful action, there will be tears in it. There will be tears in it. It is only when the emotion is so nicely woven into the action will it make it so memorable.
Yeah.
So basically, though we all don't promote beating kids or whatever, so for me you look like he's like the strict mathematics lecturer. So are you trying to tell me that you're going to beat kids and cry also? How is that possible?
First thing is, you are not kids. If you are slyly referring to that, you definitely are not kids, and you need an occasional beating.
And how often was it, or how occasional was it in these 3 years?
Yeah, how many action sequences we have?
Okay, but he said about the two of you that you are a fantastic actor, but you don't know it, and you are a fantastic actor, but you know it. Now, can you decipher this for me? What did he mean?
I think he knows us better than ourselves.
Really?
So I leave it to him.
That's the first time I got to know about myself in a complete different perspective. And
Because you're working with him?
no, like what he had, his perspective was completely new to me. It was a good one, I think, at the end of it. The statement was nice, so it just came in a different way.
But is that true? Do you feel that you're still unsure as an actor, and are you very confident?
Well, for me, see, I wouldn't relate RRR for now, but in general, we've been friends. I wouldn't say friends, but he's been a lot of things to me, including being a friend as well. Well, there was this time in my career where I just didn't know what was happening. Everything became so normal. There was no excitement. It's about waking up in the morning. I'm somebody who's individually very hyper, and I look for a little more
about him.
excitement and hyperness for me to literally pounce up and leave from home. So there was this time where I was talking to him. I was like, I don't know, my likes as an actor, what I want to do is completely different from what I'm doing now. Is it because of that my films aren't working? And very sweetly, he just pushed that idea of mine. And today, I really, I'm sure he accepts it as well. I've turned out to be a better actor. because of that. So he's this person who makes you realize what your potential is. And now to
That's the
Triple
best
R,
part
now
of
probably
any director.
I was prepped all these years to be Bheem in Triple R. It was a very complicated character. It was because Bheem is very innocent. He's very, he's strong. He's got this brutal strength in him, but he's very innocent at heart. His mind is very innocent. So, knowingly or unknowingly, you're exposed a lot, and that innocence has vanished
Right?
from you.
Yeah.
And that's what he made me search in my films. Said it's about being innocent. It's about going to the set every day, struggling. You have a little bit of that tension where you don't know how you're gonna perform for this character. Start being naive. So that's why even last time when we spoke in an interview, Charan says you have to undo a lot to be a Rajamouli's hero.
Really?
Yeah,
To
you have
unlearn?
to unlearn, to undo everything, to unlearn everything, and then go there because he's this lecturer who does your homework for you. You just have to.
See, there's a lot of teacher metaphors coming your way. What did you have to unlearn?
Me about the assurance part that I keep, I feel sometimes that I'm not sure. It's not that, but my sure, I don't know if it's good for him also.
Right.
So I'm very sure about sometimes what I do. But is it okay? Is it the sure he wants?
Yeah.
That's my reconfirmation that I keep going for. And it's not always about what we think is right for the scene and the emotion. Of course, he explains everything to the T. But end of the day, just before we move on to the next shot, that last yes from him is something that I look forward for. Not that should we do another one? No. But that assurance is always needed since we're kids.
When you get
now,
validation
we
from
always
someone
need
like
some
SS
kind of validation,
Rajamouli,
assurance.
that's the best part.
Just overconfidence
Makes your day,
doesn't work.
makes your week.
Which is lovely, given
Yeah.
that you're such a big star. But tell me, again, something your father said was that this idea came because you went to him and said that let's make a film with two big stars. And then again, it was your idea to say let's create a fictional story around two real life freedom fighters. The truth is, in the Hindi film industry, Rohit Shetty said that he could not make Ram Lakhan because no two male stars are willing to work together anymore. So you have managed something quite exceptional here. How tough was this? Or are you now at this sort of godlike stage where you say, come and everybody arrives?
The moment I think that, okay, I am in a godlike state and everyone will do whatever I want, that is my first step to downfall. I am not brought up like that. I can't think like that. From the very beginning, I have this long-standing desire of combining two powerhouses. No, I'm not just talking about their stardom. In the story, we know there is a friendship between Duryodhana and Karna. We know there is a friendship between Krishna and Arjuna. But my mind works like, what if there is a friendship between Krishna and Karna? No, that is how I think. That
would be so fascinating.
Yeah, just the thought of it. I told you now, and it fires my imagination. It's exciting.
I want to see that film.
So that kind of thing always excites me, bringing two powerhouses. So, and obviously the natural progression is if you need an actor and a star who can be that powerhouse, right? So when I had this thought of combining the lives of Alluri and Kumram, it was super exciting, but also I needed fine actors and super.
They've both done their second films with you.
Yeah, they've done their second films with me, and I know they will.
I knew about Ram Charan, Magadhira, but I know about
the
NTR's
moment I
second
think
film
of this
was
idea, I
also
know it is going to be
Rajamouli.
2.5 years, but that excitement has to be there throughout the film, not just at the onset of the film. So for that, I have to keep them excited. So I have to write characters that will hook them. That will make them their journey exciting all through these 2.5 years. So I never take anything for granted. We write the characters, so perfectly, so exciting, not just for me, even for them. When all three of us are on the same page, the journey becomes easier.
Absolutely. The other thing that you said in an interview was, of course, you didn't even know the script.
Yeah,
You said yes,
Yes.
like which you did for Rangasthalam also.
absolutely.
You didn't know the script.
Yeah.
Now, is this something you guys do often? You just say yes without.
No, we don't do often.
No, it's not a common practice.
It's just with one
It's just
person.
with him.
And yeah, the second person was Sukumar, but
Right.
he's the only person before and after.
Okay, the other thing your dad said was that you reject 90% of the ideas he pitches to you. Okay, he said he accepts only 10%. And I said, well, how does this conversation happen? Like, how does he tell you, I don't like it? He said he's very blunt. He just says, I don't like it. Is that how he is on the set?
Absolutely.
Really?
He knows what he wants, but he's open for ideas.
Huh.
But see, there's a key sequence in the film where obviously our man has shot it for 65 nights. Thanks to the pandemic, we had to divide it into 35 and 35. Or 35 and 30, or 35 and 40, or 40 or 25, whatever happened.
Right.
So it's not like he's very sure of what he wants, but not that he's not open for ideas. So I went up to him and I said, you know what? So he wanted me to do, give a certain expression for a certain shot, for a certain ending or whatever. So I said, what if I emote like this? He said no. Bluntly, he said no. I went back. The shot was fine. But he came back to me and said, you know what, actually what you said was right. Can we do one more? So I just looked at him and smiled. And he was like, yeah, okay, fine. I get it. And
That smile is like, it was very emotional sequence, and he said he will scream. I said, no, too many screams, don't scream. And while they were shooting the shot itself, I knew he had to scream. And he was in a very awkward position for the shot. He came down and I said, no, I think you are right. You do it the way you said. Okay, Charan, I'll do it. He gives that, he gives that. I know it.
I was right.
I was right.
He doesn't say it, but he gives that, I know.
So there are many incidents like that.
Right.
I'm sure even Charan has experienced that because
Yeah.
he's open for it. But if he knows it's not right, it's not right. He's blunt. And I think that's how you have to be as a filmmaker. It's your vision.
Yeah.
You want people to carry your vision, your actors, your technicians to carry your vision. You don't want them to rupture it or devalue it.
But what is he like on set? Because in interviews, he does come off as a saint, okay? And he doesn't say a
Everybody's
lot. He
vision
just smiles
smiling.
very sweetly. Is he a screamer? What does he do on set?
I mean, it depends on the day and the event. If the shoot is
So he does-
the stress levels are high and
Can he
people are
lose
not
his temper?
performing in any of the 24 crafts, obviously he blows.
It's a
He
process
blows
of,
the roof.
It's a process of becoming a saint. I think you have to be angry to become a saint.
Right.
So that's what he is. He's angry when he's getting his, when
Otherwise,
he's making
he's
his movie. And then
pretty
again,
much in a
then
Zen
he's
mode.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he's in a
seems very
Zen mode
zen.
mostly.
But he's a taskmaster.
Yes, perfectionist. You're chasing that
How
one
awkward
detail,
is
always.
this for Rajamouli?
Yeah, it's
Everybody's
basically out of
talking about
fear,
him and-
not out of anything else, because you need to get it right. The images that we have in our mind, we have to get it right on the screen. If we don't get it right, then no, I'm afraid that it would not work out.
Sanjay Leela Bansali had said to me that you want to perfect each frame because it's forever. You can't change it. You can't do anything. So you have to, whatever it takes, it has to be what you have.
The
Okay.
movie is there forever.
It is, which is the great thing about this art form. Tell me, patriotism is of course baked into this narrative. They are two freedom fighters. But there's such a thin line now between patriotism and jingoism. So how have you ensured that this film doesn't cross it?
The first thing is, even though it is
There
set
are
in
enough
the
critics out there who
era,
scream jingoism.
The fictional tale of two real life freedom fighters. The film itself is not about patriotism. It's not about nationality. It is about friendship. The whole theme is about friendship. How patriotic I am, I don't know how you can put a meter to it, but even today, if you just play Janaganamana, I'll have tears in my eyes and my hairs will stand on my arm, and I just cry. And I love my country, I love my culture, I love my nationality, but that doesn't mean I hate others. No, I respect other countries, I respect their culture, everything, but for me, my country is great. Respecting my country doesn't mean demeaning others.
Absolutely.
That's what I truly believe in. That is a personal perception, but the film is not about patriotism, it is about friendship.
You know, the conversation around this film is also because it's so massive, right? And because obviously post Bahubali the expectations are so large, the conversation is so much about the numbers, right? So I saw a story in India today which said the budget is like 550 crores, and wow, how many zeros are in that? You know? And so we just did a round table with producers, and Charan was on it, and he was saying that the Omax research shows that the Hindi version of RRR is likely to open at 30 crores. So he said, you might have 100 crore opening day, which is fabulous, and God knows we need people to come back into the theatres.
100 crore
But
opening day.
do you all ever worry that in this conversation, which is so much like a spectator sport, you know, opening kya thi, people lose sight of the artistry of your art and your craft and the amount of work you put into it? Does that happen?
See, we make films for money ultimately.
Yeah.
Money is very important thing.
Of course.
If we can't make money, the kind of money we are putting
Can't
into the
make
film, if the
films.
film doesn't get that back in return, then it's
You can't
it's a
make
failure.
more films.
It's a failure for
Yeah.
everyone. All the effort has
The image in
gone
your
waste.
mind, then you cannot bring it to the screen
But
if you don't have money.
as far as I'm
Money makes
making the
money.
film, those numbers won't affect me at all. I don't even look at those numbers. You know, occasionally I look at them to check whether we are running on budget, are we going on time, are we going beyond time, beyond the numbers, just
Sure.
just to have a perspective. But until my last CG shot is done, until my last sound effect is done, everything is put together and gone out of my hand, I won't even look at the numbers. I mean, I don't have space in my mind to do that.
Yeah.
So once everything is out of my hand, then I become a spectator. So, okay, tell me now what it's going to be, how much are we going to make? You know, then it becomes that
Then
game.
you, the artist, is done, and you, the
Yeah.
businessman, takes
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Then we'll start looking at the numbers. We'll be discussing, and if number is high, we celebrate. If number is low, then we think about now why the number is low. What can we do in that area to push it up?
To push it up, yeah.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah. Are the two of you thinking about numbers at all?
See, I personally feel that there needs to be one brain, like Rajamouli, to actually think about the numbers. But as I said, I'll agree to it. You know, right
Everyone
now,
has a lot to say, and
if I can
is awfully
speak on
quiet.
Charan's behalf also, right now for us, it's we just want RRR to hit the theatres, and we're waiting for the audience to give a verdict of what we've done as actors, what we've added to the film as actors. But post that, yes, then maybe, of course, because we're definitely gonna sit together and brainstorm how the numbers should go up, or if it's down, what else can we do? But more than that, I really want, see, for me, RRR or any film which is actually releasing post-pandemic is about bringing back the audiences to the theatre.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
old glory
The
back
glory
to theatres, I
has
think.
to return. We want the glory to be
I
back to the
cannot
theatres.
think of a more
Watching a film on
apt
theatres,
movie
I mean,
to
like,
bring people back to theatre.
we watched
Kashmir
the
Files,
trailer
yeah,
at
but this
a
was-
mixing studio in
this was it.
Hyderabad. But when we came to Mumbai and when we were watching it on the PVR screen, and I was like, wow. You know, I don't know when was the last time I actually went to a theatre to watch a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the whole feeling was so ecstatic. It was,
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
wow.
euphoric, no?
Yeah, you know, it was
Yeah.
like, wow. So I can imagine how it is to watch a movie in theatres.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more about that. I want each and every person, that one more, if RRR can bring back one more audience, I'll be the happiest.
You were saying about the first few days we speak about numbers more
Yeah.
than the artistic form and the appreciating our
Yeah.
work. I mean, when you spend 500 crores, I don't mind not being spoken. 43 days. I mean,
That's a realistic
you
perspective.
Said, no, like you said, the film is there in our libraries forever.
Yeah.
I don't mind even after 7 days if somebody calls me saying, now I have the time to call and say what great work we did, or
Now
search
100
that one
crores.
shot. Yeah, they can pause and watch. I mean, let's cross that number and I hope our producers are fine, our distributors are fine.
Yeah.
We can talk about our work, pause, replay. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Tell me, how much has he evolved as a director from the time that both of you made these films, your Magadhira and Student Number 1 with him?
we all have evolved, but he
Him?
evolved. No, he particularly evolved in a
Really?
in the multifolds.
Huh.
And I would love to always be associated with somebody who's more evolved than me, if it's the director.
Yeah.
It makes my work look much larger, better, and my work easier.
Yeah.
From being a local Telugu director to being the first filmmaker to actually break the regional barriers and make it one big Indian film for all of us. We're not regional anymore. We're one big film industry,
Indian cinema.
Indian film industry,
Which is so fab.
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was him,
Yeah.
Who did
thanks
that
to Bahubali
made
and
it
thanks to
possible,
him,
yeah.
he was the one who foresaw all this happening. Nothing has changed in him as a filmmaker. He's hungrier. He's hungrier. He wants to tell stories to the world. He wants to share his ideas. Yeah, he's hungrier. And that kida of his, the perfectionist ka kida jo hai inka, it's grown bigger. He will die and kill for it.
Which is fabulous. I think it was Werner Herzog who said that, if I had to, I would go down into hell and wrestle with the devil for my frame.
Absolutely.
So he's that man.
Yeah.
He's that about it being the Indian film industry, which is something that is so,
Nice to hear.
it is.
Feels.
It just feels so damn good. That we've spent too long being Bollywood and Mollywood and Tollywood. But then kaun se woods, First of all, we have to get rid of all of that.
Exactly.
And I just think it's so
I
amazing
hate
that
these labels.
you have
Which is derived from
incredible artists
Hollywood.
like yourselves, you have Ajay Devgan, you've got Alia, and that's not just the one project. That Fahad Fasil can act with Allu Arjun, there's just cross-pollination across the country. What do you see as the next few years being like? Do you think this will continue? Do you think it'll grow?
Yeah. No, for
Yeah.
sure, because you've mentioned like Ram Lakhan today it's not possible to happen because certain filmmakers don't have that kind of confidence or let's say they don't have the kind of infrastructure for that to happen. But now here we are, two
Mega stars.
actors coming from different families I don't know if I should say this or not, but there was a rivalry between the families.
Of course.
There was.
Everyone
There was
knows.
a
Everyone knows.
35-year odd rivalry. And today we are. We are rivals.
Right.
But we are friends too.
Yeah.
That's such
So
a
our
beautiful thing to
rivalry
say.
is very positive.
Yeah.
When was the last two big star collaboration in Hindi? Karan Arjun, if I should say, if I must say.
Yeah.
K3G
But now-
maybe.
We're seeing this cross-pollination happen, and this is what needs to happen. And this is probably our patriotism towards our industry. We need to,
I think so.
we need to,
Fantastic
because
answer. I loved.
we need to travel.
Yeah.
We have actors all over our country, all around our country in different languages. We need to bring them. If language is a barrier, that for me is not a barrier at all.
Yeah.
When you have filmmakers who can guide you, who can nurture you, who can help you. I think we have a lot of filmmakers today who believe in that idea of uniting actors together. It'll be a lovely thing, and I'm sure it's started already, and it will just get bigger and better.
And look, as
That's
a
good.
3D viewer, I just want more and more.
Absolutely.
There's no downside for me. It's more bang for the buck. It's just fabulous. How does he come up with these images? How? Like that image of the woman carrying just the hand and the baby.
Yes, from Bahubali.
From Bahubali. It was just unforgettable. It's just how Have you figured out what is the secret sauce? Because he won't
I
tell
don't think
me.
I want to get into his head.
Might as well stay
It is
out of it.
fantastic as a viewer. I enjoy it. I don't want to get into it. I have enough on my plate to do perfectly. I don't want to do that job. As long as he gives us fantastic.
That's a lot of
visuals.
weight.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's something I want to explore. I want to ask him one day. I hope he answers us.
Okay, that was everything I hoped it would be. We got so this was largely about SS Rajamouli. They cannot praise him enough. Charan, NTR Jr., Anupama Chopra, because he's a visionary. If you had to choose one word for Rajamouli, it's visionary. And it's heartening to see the respect that he commands, the respect that NTR Jr. and Ram Charan, the fondness they have for him, not only as a filmmaker, but it's pretty apparent. They are very affectionate towards him as a person, apart from respecting him as this genius filmmaker. There's a lot of mutual respect, and it shows. It's a genuine mutual respect. It's not just for the cameras. It's beautiful. I wish Ram Charan could have said more, but that's just a little grievance, that's it. But it was a beautiful interview. Again, same. There is a lot of overlap between what I think and what Anupama Chopra was putting forth as questions, like how does he imagine that? And like Ram Charan said, I do not want to get into his head because that's because that will be a lot to process, to absorb. But all in all, amazing to hear their words, to look at their real life personality. I've only seen their films, that too not many. This is my first interview with these people, and it's great to scratch the surface of knowing them on a personal level. So I'll look forward to watching more of their interviews, and I hope you enjoyed it as well.